Hello, guys. Welcome back to Gridiron across the U.S. Today is episode 23, and since we had a little bit of a conflict where Kevin's moving, so we couldn't record today, I just figured I'd want to get out a top 10 picks recap episode because I'm headed out of town later this night just to get some content out for you guys. So the NFL draft is still currently going on, but first round ended on Thursday. I was there. It was a great time, absolute blast. A lot of Packers fans there. Everyone showed up. About 200,000 people officially came to the draft. So crazy number of attendance. Wasn't as much as Detroit, but Green Bay compared to Detroit, the hotel infrastructure for such a small city or town or whatever Green Bay wants to go by, they did a great job getting attendance for that draft. Really well done, and the whole process was really smooth. Events were fun. They kept you entertained there, except the lines for the bathroom were a little long. But we'll talk about that more whenever Kevin's here. But I just want to recap the top 10 since pretty expected top 10, a lot of expected picks, but also some shockers there. Nothing too bad, but let's get into it. Pick 1, Tennessee took Cam Ward. This was the obvious pick. We'd known this for a long time, ever since they didn't get any quarterbacks in free agency. I thought they were going to get Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, some of those bridge type of guys that maybe get another quarterback next year, but seems like Cam Ward was their guy from the jump. They canceled their pre-draft workout with Shedeur Sanders, who got picks in the 5th round today. We'll talk about that slide whenever Kevin's here recapping the whole first round. But that was a crazy slide. But anyways, canceled their workout with Shedeur Sanders and basically locked in Cam Ward to be their quarterback. And Ward was going on Fortnite a couple weeks before the draft and naming his best coaches, best players, best running backs. Everybody he said was tight ends. He knew he was going to be a tight end, but I can't blame him. Easily the best quarterback in this class, which not the strongest QB class. Oh, why did the Saints take Tyler Shuck? Anyways, moving on, we had a big trade right here. Number 2, the Jags traded up with the Browns to get that 2nd overall pick and take Travis Hunter. It was a big risk for their 34-year-old GM who looks like he's 15, but the Jaguars sent their number 5 pick there, number 36 in the 2nd, 126 in the 4th, and a 2026 first-round pick. That's a lot of capital to move up 3 spots, but you get a generational player in return. And what the Jags received back from that, they got the number 2 pick from the Browns, obviously used that to take Hunter, 104 in the 4th, 200 in the 6th. So we're going to see how this trade pans out for them, but when you get a two-way player like Hunter, easily the best talent in the draft besides Ashton Jennings, you can make an argument for both of them. Great talented player, can play both sides. He got announced as a receiver and corner at the draft. I find that very cool. He looks very happy to be there. He was doing his little dance before. He knew he wasn't going to go to Cleveland's cold weather with Deshaun Watson, now would be Shedeur Sanders, but go to Jacksonville where it's sunny. I mean, they got good players on their roster. They can compete in that weak, very weak division with their other draft picks, but they gave up a lot to get Hunter, and they hope it's going to pan out, which I think it will because Hunter's a great player. Number 3, Kevin talked about this our last episode. Abdul Carter went to the Giants. We don't really like the fit here because the Giants have invested so much on that D-line when you need other positions. I could see if they went wide receiver here, tackle here, maybe even quarterback if the whole Shedeur Sanders little sliding down the boards thing didn't happen. But for the players that were available, Abdul Carter is a good pick for them. I just think it has so many people on that defensive line. You got Kayvon Thibodeau, who did not get traded. He might get traded later on. Dexter Lawrence, now Abdul Carter. They got Brian Burns too. They traded for him last offseason. So you got a really good stacked D-line, which is something kind of necessary in the NFC East. You got Jalen Hurts and that insane Eagles O-line. You got to find a way to combat that somehow. Never forget they have Saquon Barkley behind them, who the Giants lost. And then you have Jaden Daniels, very elusive quarterback. They got a solid O-line. And then there's Dak. Dak is Dak. But Abdul Carter, for the spot they had, it's a good pick, but they could have gone other ways. But I like the pick there. Number 4 is my favorite pick of the draft here. I said last episode Will Campbell's going to be a Hall of Famer, and after seeing his interview after the draft, it's pretty certain right now. He said, "I'm going to fight and die to protect Drake May," with tears running down his face. That man is going to play 20 years of Pro Bowl football. Just class act guy, really was raised the right way. And he's a great player too. A little bit of concerns about his arm lengths, but who cares? He played in the SEC. He started every game he played for LSU. He was incredible at LSU, stopped everybody. I think he led up 2 sacks his entire career out of 1,000-plus snaps played. So really good player there. He's a leader on the O-line. He once in an interview said if you give up 12 sacks a season, you're going to be working at Amazon as an O-lineman. So Really wise words there. He's going to be a great coach one day. I can just see it already. But that will be after he plays 20 years of Pro Bowl football and is the first ballot Hall of Famer. That's my prediction there. And now the second side of the trade here. Browns took Mason Graham at 5. Not too much of a shocker here, as Mason Graham is one of the best players on the board, definitely worthy of that top 5 selection. You pair him up with Myles Garrett. If they didn't trade at 2, I think they probably would have took Travis Hunter in that way. But if they took Abdul Carter, that would be a better one. Mason Graham's a good pass rusher, good run stopper guy. He's a good D tackle. Will definitely help that D line. There's other ways they could have gone here, but I like that pick. Number 6 was also one of my favorite picks in the draft. I wish Ashton Jeanty would have gone to the Saints, but I'm happy to see him get picked so high. He's getting already the second highest paid running back in the league just because of that number 6 pick contract, which is really good for him because he put up an incredible season last year. Over 2,000 rushing yards. Should have won the Heisman. I'll always stand by that. But going 6th overall to the Raiders, he's going to help out Geno Smith there and Pete Carroll in his run offense. Hopefully Pete Carroll would hand the ball to Jeanty if they get to the 1-yard line. If the Raiders made the Super Bowl, which definitely won't happen. But you got a nice duo. Raiders have done really good these past 2 drafts, getting star players, star offensive talent. Brock Bowers last season, and now Jeanty. 2 highlight names coming to Vegas. They're going to have a good old time. It's going to be fun in Vegas. They probably won't win too many games here as they're still in that rebuilding phase, but an incredible pick of the year and who I believe is the best player in the class. Number 7, the Jets took Membu from Mizzou, or Armand Membu. I like what they're building here with that young offensive line. You've got Olu Fashanu, Elijah Vera Tucker, and now you've got Membu. 3 really good young staples. Vera Tucker has had a couple injury concerns, but push those aside for now. And Fashanu's he's gonna keep on developing. He's coming into the league at 21. Younger player. You got a really good offensive line there for Justin Fields to stand behind. And hopefully he has that breakout season he needs. With throwing to Garrett Wilson and getting blindside protection from Membu. Membu's a great blindside blocker. Think he's around that 6'6" range. Really good player for Mizzou. Kind of jumped in the boards this past draft process. I didn't really see too much buzz about him during the regular season, but kind of jumped up there and put his names up there. And there we go. Drafted at number 7. I really like that pick. I wish this pick was the Saints. I really wanted Ted McMillan, but it's all right. Ted McMillan to the Panthers is still an excellent pick. Gonna have him in the division is another blow, but that's all right. Bryce Young needed a wide receiver. I'm really glad they didn't just keep on drafting defense because you need help for Bryce Young. You got Xavier Leggetti. Adam Thielen's getting up there in age, and McMillan's a great wide receiver. I said last episode I think he's the best receiver prospect, unlike Emeka Egbuka, who Kevin said. See, that's why I'm doing the first round later with him, because Egbuka went in the pick 19, I think. But Tech McMillan is going to be a great player for the Panthers, really knows the game well. He's going to be a great compliment to Bryce Young. Little connection going there, Cali boys, to what he said during the draft. Now it's my team, New Orleans Saints, Kelvin Banks Jr. I like the pick. We've gone O-line first round so many times that it's getting really annoying, but we haven't hit on all of them. We got Ryan Ramczyk. I don't remember. He was a first. He wasn't a fan back then. But then we got Trevor Penny. That experiment failed, but he's had some solid times. Then last year we got Taliesin Fuaga, if that's how you say it. And now Kelvin Banks protecting that blind side. Because one thing with the Saints O-line is they seem to get injured very often. Not a lot of depth there, but Banks is not going to be a depth piece. No way. He's a day 1 starter easily. I like the protection he's going to give there to whoever the quarterback is. Tyler Shuck, maybe. We'll see if he gets to start at 25, going to be 26. Whoopee. But Banks is a great player. First team All-SEC 2 times, unanimous All-American. Probably one of the better tackles in this class. I think Will Campbell. I think Banks is better than Membu. But SEC players just make the best O-linemen is what it seems here. And to round out the top 10, the Bears. Packer Nation was booing the Bears whenever they were making this pick. I left right after the Saints pick. Walking back, I could hear the boos coming all the way from about a mile away. But they got Colston Loveland, who they just re-signed Cole Kmet, so that doesn't make too much sense. But Colston Loveland is a very versatile player. He can play in the slot. He can be that 2-personnel tight end. Ben Johnson's going to find a way with him. This is a very Ben Johnson pick right here. I know the head coaches don't get too much say in the draft. That's more the general manager. But I bet the general manager's on board with Ben Johnson to make this pick. Loveland's going to play the slot. He's going to be a great complement. They're building up the pass catchers and offensive talent for Caleb Williams, trying to surround him with an amazing supporting cast because he was the most sacked quarterback last year. Loveland's can also block too, so I guess you get a little bit of a 2-for-1 there. But a little bit of a shorter episode here since it's me doing all the talking. That's going to round out the top 10. Really good top 10. All the players here were definitely deserving to go there. No super shocks. Only shock was that trade, which I heard rumors before the day that Jags were looking to trade up. I didn't think they'd do it, but there they did. Got Travis Hunter. I think all these teams are going to be pretty well set for the future with their players. I think everyone's going to be a day one starter here, as it usually is most top 10 drafts. And with that, thank you guys for watching shorter episode 23. We're going to be back probably next week after I get back from Syracuse to recap the entire first round and maybe some highlight picks from the later rounds since some big name players went, like Cam Skadaboo, Shedeur Sanders. Second round was very interesting. Don't know how Will Johnson fell out of the first round too, but we'll talk about that later. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you then.